Well, hello. I'm here at the Arizona range, and that's because I'm here to discuss all the real-world firearms that are in the Fallout series. Now, there can't be that many. There could be, like, what, 10, 20, 30... There are 60. That's a lot. So I've actually enlisted the help of Dan, who's going to be reading me a list of the various weapons, and we'll be kind of talking about them as I, fire off some rounds. And speaking of, let's do the sound check with the 1911. I'm going to turn that down a touch on my end, but it should be fine for you. So it's working. We're here because the scene I would like to use runs like garbage with all this stuff happening. So we're here. What's first on the list? Is that the Mauser?
Mauser 9mm, yep.
Nice. I have attached, it's the Fallout name, then the real world weapon, and then what game it's in.
I see that.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know the order. This is in Fallout's what, 1 and 3? Is that what's written down?
Yeah, 1 and 3.
Okay, I remember that much.
Yeah, the Mauser's a nice looking gun, not gonna lie.
So this is the Mauser 9mm, or Mauser C96. This was in Fallout 1, and it was also in Fallout 3. I'm going to take probably just a couple, like 10 rounds or so from each gun. And if you want to talk about the gun, be my guest. Otherwise, I'm going to do some plinking and then just tell you what I think.
I don't really have much to say about it.
So the irons are actually pretty good, and it locks open when it's on its last round. So loading in a new magazine's worth of ammo isn't terribly difficult. I'm just not a good shot with it.
I hear it tings, so you must be better than me.
I have to aim slightly above where the irons line up, which is a little strange, but that's probably just the game. Yeah, this is totally fine. If I had to give this a rating, I'd call it it's like B tier. It could be better, but it definitely could be worse. I'm gonna be saying worse a lot, because there are a lot of weapons that are worse.
Yep. Yeah, just put that right in the trash. We don't need that.
We don't need the stock. What's next? Is that the Desert Eagle, or is that a revolver?
Single Action Army.
Oh god, okay. I've given my... Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like the Single Action Army. I don't love to reload during a battle. I know there's some people out there who totally do. That's on them for being weird.
Yeah.
Also, it totally is chambered in 45 long Colt, but what is that, Fallout 1 or 2? Or 1 and 2?
This is a New Vegas gun.
New Vegas! New Vegas is doing us dirty. I mean, I guess they don't want to add a new type of round when they don't have to. So you have to pull the hammer back, which is annoying. I'm gonna aim. I should probably continue to aim for that tree. Oh, these sights are not good.
I was about to say, these sights are not good.
The rear sight is very shallow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you even have a rear sight?
I do. I'm going to point this to the sky and pull the hammer down. Do you see that tiny little notch?
Barely.
Yeah, it's like 2 pixels on my screen. Okay, so it's got a punchy cartridge. It was knocking that back and forth pretty reliably. Unfortunately, these sights are useless.
Yeah.
And because it was 1880 whenever, they didn't have the ability to put, actual rails on anything. So let's go ahead, and I just tried to reach for the barrel of the gun to unload this faster.
Yeah, that's not how this one works.
Nope.
Is that how you unload it?
Yeah. So, when you have it open, pressing the trigger actuates this spring-loaded lever, which pushes the round out. Because, I just fan the hammer back. We can do that. Okay. It doesn't work very reliably in H3, but it works.
I was about to say.
This is like a C tier. For Cowboy Days, this was neat. Because you're never gonna, like, the amount of distance between you and that, like me and those boxes, is what you were dealing with, and everybody had one of these. But if you're, you know, out there surviving in the post-apocalyptic future, everybody else has, like, fully automatic rifles and miniguns and laser and plasma weapons, and you're using this? Don't.
Into the trash, the bullets go.
Yeah, I don't need the extra bullets, and we need to keep this scene clean, otherwise we are going to run into frame rate problems.
There you go.
So I'm only going to keep like 5 weapons out at a time. What's next? Is it finally the Desert Eagle?
The SWM-29.
Ah, the Smith & Wesson 29. It's right here. Now this is more like it.
I was about to say, like...
Because look at this. It's actually a double action revolver, so you can just stick...
Double action speed loader.
Stick that in there. And we might actually be able to hit... Oh yeah, these sights are useful.
Man, those are good sights.
Yeah. This is the 44 Magnum in what? Like all the Fallouts pretty much? What do I got written down?
Yeah, Fallout 2, Tactics, add scope for 3, Shelter 4,
I need a scope.
and 76. That's basically all of them.
How am I going to put a scope on that? Now we have the hunting revolver from Fallout 3, and also Kellogg's revolver had a scope on it. Is it any better? Yes. Is it coming through on the right eye for you, Dan?
So you can see down the scope, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so...
You're good with this one.
Well, because I can actually kind of see what I'm aiming at. Yeah, this is just effectively... Let's put these in like a ranked order. This is definitely the best.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a revolver, use one that you can reload quickly. It's still a very powerful round. It's a lot like the single-action army, but it's actually usable. And you're not going to have your face eaten by a death claw trying to reload it. So, when the nuclear holocaust comes, grab yourself a Model 29, grab yourself a scope, put it on there somehow, and I think you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, now are we at Desert Eagle?
Now you're at the Eagle, yep.
Okay, this is the Desert Eagle 44?
44, yep.
Okay. This was in Fallouts 1 and 2, and this is one of the weird things that was in the old Fallouts. I don't exactly know why Fallouts 1 and 2 had this, other than it was probably in Mad Max. So one advantage, you get 8 rounds per magazine, and reloading it is super easy, so it's got that going for it over a revolver. My issue, though, is this thing's like gas system is like a vacuum cleaner. It just sucks up everything around it. I don't know if you want that in a deserty, post-apocalyptic environment. I also have no idea how to use the sights correctly. We're gonna move on to closer target. Okay. You could definitely do better. I'm still gonna say take the revolver, especially with the sight. Okay, that can sit there. It's okay. Definitely a lot of force. Probably a little punchier than it needs to be if you're dealing with like human targets. But I totally get that for like robots and mutated animals. Don't try to do the long range shots with it. Like, what is this? 10 meters? Okay. Yeah, like a 10-meter shot is you're probably fine. Just hope that they don't have more firepower than you do, otherwise you might be screwed.
That's the spirit.
Alright, so what's next?
The LAPD 2019 from Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas.
And also Blade Runner.
Oh, this one!
Yeah. I'm not going to be firing this in railgun mode because you don't have railgun mode in any of the games. This is known as that gun in New Vegas, and it fires 223, the same as the rifles. Very punchy. Also, there's no rail, but they give you a laser in H3, so that makes up for it. And that was it. So I'm gonna... Where do you... Okay. In New Vegas, this is good. It uses a round you won't really get to use until the mid to late game, and you get it super early, so you get a chance to kind of have that taste of power, which I love. It's weird that the Blade Runner gun is just in Fallout. Strange choice there, Boyarsky and Kane, and also Sawyer. This is an S tier. It's just got to be in the S tier.
Alright, I got that all recorded. Go ahead and trash those guns. Next one you want is the sawn-off double barrel, which is the Widowmaker from Fallout 1, 2, New Vegas, 4, and 76.
It's just called the Widowmaker in 1, but all of the games have a sawn-off double barrel in them pretty much. Yeah, we'll do this one. It's actually got better range than you think. Again, we were able to hit the like the 20-meter targets pretty reliably. Of course, I missed saying that, but we'll give it a proper shot, and I'll actually aim. It's got range. Video games have this bad habit of treating all the shotguns like they've only got range from like here to 2 meters.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is awful about that. There's the damage ramp off in, I believe, Black Ops 1 was so bad that past about 5 meters, you were dealing single-digit damage in a game where players typically heal about like 20 health a second. But H3 is actually really good about the shotguns, and with that in mind, New Vegas, you can actually load the shotguns with different shell types. And if we come over here, we can actually just grab... So Fallout shotguns have this terrible issue where all the damage is spread up between the individual pellets, and New Vegas has damage threshold and damage resistance, I believe, and damage threshold is subtractive. So if an enemy is wearing 10 DT armor, they'll absorb 10 points of damage. With the shotgun, that's 10 points of damage off each individual pellet, so you'll do nothing. And that's why you'd want the slug rounds, or you just invest in all the shotgun perks, which alleviate that issue. So you only fire the one projectile. Let me flip that back over so you can see it. You only fire the one projectile, but all that damage is concentrated into a single bullet, dealing the full amount of damage. You've effectively just turned it into a rifle, but it keeps shotguns viable in the early game, which I love. I don't like the sawn-off in 3 because it's almost just this one with a pistol grip. And it deals super low damage, and it's super low range, and there's no reason to use it. It's actually more like, well, it's like a double-barrel version of the flare gun. Because it's that pistol-gripped, pointless, dumb, stupid. Fallout 4, I will give it credit. Fallout 4 actually solves my issue with it. Where is just... It's not one of these with the hammers. Hammerless long. Okay. So this is effectively the double-barrel shotgun in 4 and 76. It's a full-sized one that you can cut down if you wish. We'll give it a B. We'll give the double-barrel a B. It was okay, then it got worse, and then it got a whole lot better. This isn't in a lot of the games. It's like, what, just the DOS games?
Grease Gun is in Fallout 2 and in New Vegas.
Oh, it's in New Vegas, too. Forgot that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Pop that open, you're killing. Pop that shut, you're not. That's how you remember. Pull the stock out, because I'm going to need it.
I'm sorry, I've never actually inspected a grease gun before, but the fact that you have to have this, like, open the windows, like, round lever.
Oh, yeah. It just pulls straight back. It's a linear action, so it's not like you rotate it. And that's to chamber around. And then you've got the dust cover here, which is literally just a metal flap that latches shut or open.
Ridiculous.
This was made during one of the World Wars, and it was designed to be as cheap as possible. This was the replacement, I believe, for the Tommy gun. And it's all just stamped steel and wire and uncomfortable to hold. It's got a decent sight picture.
Yeah, the sights aren't terrible.
It's also super controllable because it fires such short bursts.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also appreciate. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and show that springing open. Yeah, so, at closer ranges, you would definitely want to, stay automatic, but longer range, just give the trigger taps. I was firing off individual rounds there with individual trigger tap. Why did the shotgun just jump?
Because it's excited.
Simmer down, boy. I gave you a B. That's pretty good. You don't need to be doing magic tricks and demonic possession tricks to make me bump that rating up. It's not gonna work. Given circumstances, this is a decent weapon. I love that it's super controllable. That's what I was gonna say. Not very accurate. It feels like I can semi-reliably hit about where I'm thinking I'm shooting, but that's not necessarily what you would want when you've got, a Yao Guai charging at you at 30 miles an hour. You having to go, I sure hope I'm hitting.
Maybe this is where it's gonna land.
No, I'm dead. What were you saying about? What were you saying?
I'm just commenting on what you were saying.
Yeah. But, if you're in a raider encampment and you've got, like, a whole bunch of guys everywhere, you can just go... Hopefully you have more rounds than that, otherwise you're toast. That went right in the garbage can, 10 points. But, you can just go... Oh, there's a sniper!
Pretty controllable.
Yeah. That totally missed my target. I'm gonna give this a B, but I'm gonna put it just below the double barrel because I think this guy's a lot more versatile, especially in New Vegas, because you can build all the different types of ammo, and building garbage rounds with the shotguns is just so satisfying. Whereas this, I believe your options are. This apparently fires 45 in game. It fires 9, but it fires 9, or you can make 9 piercing, and that's about it, or 9 hollow point. And that's fine. Okay, so what do we got up next?
Up next is the Tommy gun.
Which one?
The Thompson M1928.
Oh, hell yeah. So...
Good old Fallout 2.
Fallout 2 is the only game that includes the correct Thompson. If you're going to give me a Tommy gun, give me the Tommy gun. Give me the one with the top charging bolt. Give me the one with the drum mag. This thing.
Yeah. Whatever that weird pattern thing is. Yeah.
It's like the heat sink, I believe. Give me the Stubbs compensator. The Chicago in my blood squeals with delight upon seeing this bad boy.
It really is. It's the Chicagoan SMG.
If you hate this thing, you're wrong. Oh.
Like there's just some distinct classiness to it.
Yeah. This was designed this was the one that they submitted to the military. They're like, yeah, this could be our submachine gun for fighting World War. And they're like, hold on, got a question for you. How much does this cost to produce? And they went, well, this cost as much as a new car did at the time. So this was not the design they went with, and they're fools.
They are.
I am so... Stop it!
Stop jumping.
Quit. You're not going to create a terrifying double-barrel grease gun hybrid. Not on my watch. I'm about to replace you with something else. I can't even give him the coffee cup. Here. Hopefully that keeps you occupied. Learn about the different types of ammo. Anyways, we're going to fire this thing now.
Let's hear it. Satisfying.
We need to do some... Well, first of all, we need to do some typing practice on home row. Okay. Super inaccurate, but I think that's what you want. This is the type of gun that you bring with you when somebody says, "Hey, I hear you paint houses." Yeah, I do.
That's to say the least.
100-round mag. We're doing this one now.
That was a very satisfying sound.
Why am I not allowed to own one of these? There is...
I don't know.
Also, who let this company go out of business? They should still be making exactly this.
That's a good point.
Oh. The whole rest of this video is a lost cause. I think we all know what the top tier is. It's our guy.
Am I just gonna put S+ for this sucker?
Go ahead. What's next?
That would be the FN P90.
Oh yeah, are you ready for a weapon that shouldn't be in a Fallout game? This was in 2 in Tactics, and also Splatoon 2.
Yes.
The
fact it's in Splatoon 2 is amazing.
Loading this is a little difficult. Oh, did you hear about Splatoon's servers?
No. What did they do?
So Nintendo is finally updating their architecture for their online servers.
Okay.
They first wrote it in 2003, but they found in Splatoon 2's code checks to see if it's connected to a Windows 98 machine.
Yeah.
So Nintendo has desperately needed to update the architecture for a while, and now they finally are doing that. Monster Hunter is the first game to offer that. Anyways, we're talking about the P90 now.
Yeah.
There's no good place to put your forehand.
Yeah.
It's a very...
That's the thing I always...
It's
always bugged me about the P90.
It's
You're just holding... Your foregrip is like your index finger and your thumb. That's it. That's all you got.
Yep. It also doesn't have any sights, so you gotta put a red dot on it. But let's get that in full auto. Very little perceived recoil. I mean, everything is back here.
Yeah.
It's just a big plastic box. And I kind of love that, but why is this in Fallout? This was designed in like the 1980s. If the curved shapes in plastic didn't tip you off. Loading it is also a nightmare. It could have just been any other weapon. You just stick the mag up in that slot and you're good to go. But no, they were like, let's just stick it under the Picatinny rail. That's not frustrating to do in the slightest. I'm going to give this a C. You get 50 rounds in a magazine, which is cool, and the 5.7mm ammunition is like inherently armor piercing, which is nice. But this didn't need to be in a Fallout game, and it's just an ergonomic disaster. It's got all the worst features of a bullpup, but it doesn't even have a normal mag position.
Yeah.
I just angered so many people who love the P90, and the coolest thing is, I don't care.
No. There's a weapon in Apex that is the P90, but instead of it being top fed, it is bullpup, and it just frankly looks like it'd be a lot easier to handle.
It is. Bullpup is an awkward way to handle weapons, but it can't be more awkward than trying to have to, like, weave the flippin' magazine through the rail.
The next one is the Heckler and Koch G11.
Oh. You've seen the G11 before, so this isn't new to you.
Oh, yeah, this thing.
For everybody else, buckle up. This is going to be a little insane, and I'm going to load this the way the Germans intended, which is you keep the mags over your shoulder in a quiver. It fires caseless ammunition. It's in the little block of propellant there. You then stick it into the mag well. Windows Mixed Reality hates this motion. You then turn a dial to load a round. And let's throw this into single round. And I'm actually going to fire it southpaw so everybody can see the disgusting motion the magazine makes. Is that visible?
Yeah, just kind of bounces. That's gross.
So, it's a reciprocating motion to feed a bullet in. This is specifically in Fallout 2 an enclave weapon. Let's go ahead and throw that on 3-round burst, and let's actually load up a proper magazine. You would not want to do that IRL, because what I just did would have definitely shattered a couple rounds. Because it's caseless, and there's nothing to absorb the blow.
Yep.
So, how this works is this internal mechanism clicks up, a round falls into it due to gravity, and it clicks forward again, shoots the round out the barrel, which is underneath the magazine, and then when it shoots it back, it rotates back up to feed another round. This button up here doesn't work in the game, but this would be to eject a round if it, like, misfired. You simply turn the dial about halfway until this, like, opens. You then press the button to eject the round, and now we can get back to killing.
Wild.
So I'm gonna say it immediately. I love this thing. It's going somewhere over here. Because in a Fallout situation, like, this, first of all, this whole gun is plastic and metal. This whole front piece is just a hollow piece of plastic. This whole back piece is just a hollow piece of plastic. Everything inside is super complex, intricate, like clockwork style machinery, which isn't going to age well. The ammunition is highly specialized, so making new ammo is next to impossible. It's fragile ammo, and especially for the Enclave, you know, guys in power armor chucking grenades everywhere, they're gonna end up breaking their own rounds. Just use a regular rifle, fellas. Anyways, let's do a 3-round burst. I'm sorry, a 3-round hyper burst at 2,200 rounds a minute.
Well, that's pretty dumb.
Because I guess, you know, you need that. And then we're going to go ahead and fire this in full auto. Even though I don't need to, it's, it just feels necessary. Super controllable on full auto, which is nice. They could be a whole lot meaner. This could fire the whole 2,200 RPM and empty this whole magazine in like a second. But it fires at like 450 RPM, which is fine. No military ever adopted this. I didn't need to tell you that. You just assumed it when you saw this thing. Because you'd never seen it before, so you're like, oh, this story isn't a good one. It's better than the P90 because it at least kind of makes sense to hold. But it's still a C tier. It's ugly. It's just a mailbox that shoots bullets. I just love holding this, even though it's digital. Okay, so who's next? Is this the Pancor?
This is the FAL. FNFLL.
Oh, the FAL. I forgot I put that on the list. I don't even know. Oh, there it is. We'll take the 30-round mag out. And what do I have listed for this? Where is this from? Just 2 in tactics?
2 in tactics.
It's handsome. It kind of feels like... This feels like a post-apocalyptic firearm.
It does.
Like
it feels like it belongs in this situation.
Yeah. I love the wood. I love the simplistic, rugged machinery. I love the pointless carry handle. I mean, don't forget. I mean, I can carry it by the carry handle in H3, and I don't know why I would want to do that. But,
Yeah.
you know, you could just kind of flop it off to the side, or roll it to the other side where it stays neatly behind the mag well. It's got a super long barrel. The stock's a little small, which is a little weird. But the irons are... Never mind. I was about to say the irons are nice. Okay, they're not bad. Full auto? Oh, that is a super high rate of fire. I don't know why you...
Yeah.
This is good. This is fine. The round is maybe a little overkill. It's 762 NATO.
It is a bit overkill.
Taking the magazine out, you have to do by hand. There's no button for it. And it kind of just slots up against the well and presses up. It's a little weird that's... Yeah, I mean, you could do worse. I'm gonna say this. This is probably better suited to the world of Fallout than the world it was designed for. Because you have the single fire and it's a high caliber round, so you can kind of, there's a raider up there. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, here comes Caesar's Legion. Bam, 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 bam. Oh no, here comes a Deathclaw.
Just lay it down.
Yeah, just fully automatic. So I'm going to give this an A. It's perfectly acceptable. Who's next?
Next is the H&K Cause.
Okay. That's a shotgun. And it's a weirdo. It's a weirdo of a shotgun. This one. Say, does its design look a little familiar?
Wow. Wait, it's a shotgun. Why does it have a scope?
Because this is when Germany was looking to produce a legacy-free shotgun system. This is like the iMac of shotguns. This is a magnified scope. It's like a 2x magnified scope instead of iron sights, because iron sights are old. This is the future. It's Kraut space magic. The shotgun round it fires is massive. This is a belted 12-gauge shell. It is in a brass casing because the powder load inside the cartridge was so hot it was melting the plastic casing of a regular 12-gauge. Wow. This is overkill to the highest degree. And
sounds like it.
And I haven't even shown you its most ridiculous feature yet. So let's go ahead and fire off a couple shots. That was awful. I'm very sorry. And
what was that?
It's fully automatic. Bolts in a reasonable location. Semi-auto and full auto. Its rounds are going to hold up pretty well over time, I would reckon, because they are brass cased. This is... I'm gonna put this in the A tier. I'm gonna give this an A+. It's an overachiever, but you love it. It solved the problems that its brother, the G11, has, which is great. Is next up the Jackhammer.
Pancor Jackhammer.
Okay, I'm gonna be a little mean to this thing, but honestly, at the same time, I don't know if I should be, because what is in the slot? Oh, I still have this. Okay. Do you see a problem with how tight that fit is? Also, how about now?
Yeah, I'll say you're putting it in pretty slow.
Well, because it's a super tight fit, because the Pancor jackhammer never came out. This was a tool room prototype of a fully automatic rotary drum shotgun. So
There's a lot of adjectives in there that
yes.
are good.
So when the bolt flies back, it skirts along these grooves, and that's what advances the cylinder. The Pancor Corporation, they only ever made like 4. And this was the shop room prototype. This wasn't meant to be fired. But it is theoretically a functional weapon. All the other ones that were actually more reasonably designed, had space to actually easily put the drum in. Had, a proper barrel shroud and foregrip and a more proper rail. Those were all stress tested by the US government, and they weren't keen on them. They liked them, but they liked other options more. This was kind of just bulky and expensive and bullpup for the sake of being bullpup. Unfortunately, the only surviving copy is the tool room prototype, which has had an MP5 SD 4 attached to it for some extra grip. This would just be a piece of smooth aluminum that you put your hand on.
Wow, that would not keep steady at all.
No, you don't get much grip, and it will get hot because it's bare metal touching bare metal touching a barrel. But the guy who owns it, one, has leased this out to Forgotten Weapons, so it's still out there, and it has been disassembled as recently as like 2014 or 2015, which is nice. But also loaned this to video game companies so they could model the jackhammer and put it in games, and that's why the jackhammer is in either Far Cry 1 or 2, and how it ended up in Fallout 2. I was going to do a video on the weirdo weapons in Fallout 2, and I just never got to make it because it didn't seem interesting enough, and now I'm kind of getting to use some of the stuff I learned from that. For this, let's fire. Sights are useful. And because this is not a real weapon, Anton has been able to just go ham with the sound and the design. There's no bolt. There's no anything. You stick rounds in it, and you fire it, and it sounds like construction equipment. Even the trigger pull.
It sounds like construction.
I love the trigger pull on this thing. One other weird feature, and this has nothing to do with the gun. There was a device that you would attach to the magazine that had 10 firing pins on each of the 10 shells. And it stuck up through the top, and there was a graded plate that would go on top, and you'd put this on the ground, and when somebody steps on it, they press the whole thing down, like sandwich it all together, and the firing pins hit all these shells, and it blasts them through the foot, up through the skull with 10 shotgun shells at the same time to use the magazine as a landmine. The Pancor Corporation was on some other shit, and I almost love the audacity.
I'm sorry, as you were explaining this, my face went from intrigue to terror because I knew what it was before you even finished the sentence.
I know. In H3, this is okay. I think I like the costs a bit more. In Fallout, it's higher ranking than the costs, which is weird. I'm going to go out on a limb and call it... I'm going to call this an A tier, but just before the foul here, actually.
I'll put it as an A minor.
That's fair. I love it, but if you're grabbing a shotgun, this is just a way better option, because it's going to last longer. I mean, if you have ample shells, this is still easier to load and fire, I would argue. Alright, who's next?
The next is the 762 AK.
Okay. I couldn't remember which one that was, so I just called it the 762 AK. in my files. It's the AKM.
Yeah, it says the Chinese assault rifle.
Yeah. Because there is, there is a Chinese assault rifle in H3, but, this is it, and it's not very AK-like.
No. I actually remember I wanted to make that one of the weapons in my game, and it just never happened.
I mean, this is a weirdo. And its sights are not useful.
Nope.
You might notice that they are 2 rings. I mean, there is a little notch inside the second ring, but it's still just not good. This is designed like if you... So, how I'd explain this. If we played telephone with 1,000 people and we started with this, when it comes back around to me, it would look like this.
Accurate.
Like it somehow gained like an M16 carry handle. It became bullpup for some reason. Everything is plastic and metal. And it's firing a weird round, 5.8 millimeter by 42. First round is always dead center on the crosshairs. After that, you must reload. Counter-Strike taught me that. Just kidding, it didn't. I don't use... The only thing I use is the G3. Alright, let's go ahead and load a new magazine, which we, of course, do the correct way, which is flip that with the magazine and put the magazine in. I love that feature. I love that this is like one of the few guns IRL that you could just do that. All these other weapons that have like the latch here, like so many video games they do it, but this is like one of the few examples where it actually works that way. Yeah, bonus points, the AK is horrendously rugged. Kalashnikov concern literally dragged one of these through the mud and ran over it with a truck, pulled it out, scrubbed it down, stuck a mag in it, and it fired. There's nothing stopping an AK.
That's both terrifying and, frankly, impressive.
It is. Because it's just stamped metal. It's literally just stamped metal and like 2 springs. And we, of course, have to do the... Did I just load the new magazine? I totally did. Hey, Jetty Toby-Wan, or whatever your username is. I'm sorry, I don't watch you very often. I'm taking your job now. Russian military were so used to using that notch. So, between reloads, you'd crack open a beer or a soda, and you'd pop it open with this little metal lip and drink it, but that would warp the mag load. And because it's so shallow and frail, people cracking open bottles in it would cause issues, like the mag wouldn't load right. So they started adding... This isn't a bottle opener. It's... Russian military AKs have a bottle opener kind of near the front for people to crack their beers open on, because they wanted people to stop cracking them open with the flippin' magazine feed.
I love how that is...
That was a problem that needed a solution in the Russian military, so they invented one.
Yeah, checks out. Alright, what would you give the 762?
I give our boy the AK. This is a definite A. Between the FAL and... It's an A. It's up there a lot, like, equal with the FAL. I think they both do a really good job at just being rugged 30-round assault rifles. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead. Well, no, they are one and the same. The FAL has a higher rate of fire, but that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give them... They're about on equal terms.
Alright, your next one is H&K G3.
Oh, we just talked about the G3. That is over in Battle Rifle, I believe. I know the MP5 is on the list, but what are your thoughts on the MP5?
The SMG?
Yeah.
frankly overused. I see it everywhere.
Okay.
I could take it or leave it.
Would you like it more if it was big?
I knew this is where this was going.
Lock that up there and give it a slap. The sights are exactly the same because of course they are. It's just... I mean, it fires 762 NATO, so it's gonna bump. Let's shoot some bottles. We haven't shot any bottles yet. I was about to say, and we won't, because I can't hit them. But I got one. Yeah, that doesn't do it. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, the AK actually operates like that IRL, because it's kind of a softer pull on the mag release latch, whereas all the other ones are heavier. And we just need to do the slap again. You don't want to fire this one one-handed, so if you've gotten your arm eaten by a Scorch Beast, you're in luck. That was accidental. I'm not even aiming. Holy crap. Okay, there we go. Okay, that was way better than me actually trying to aim. Let's go ahead and put this on full auto and actually try to control it. Nope, that wasn't gonna happen. Oh, this is the assault rifle from Fallout 3. This is actually probably one of my favorite weapons in Fallout 3 because it actually looks like, one, its namesake, it's just got wooden furniture, but two, it also looks like a weapon. So many of the weapons in Fallout 3 just kind of don't look like anything. So the R93 assault rifle, yeah, it's alright. Yeah, it's happily an A- tier. It's effectively just the FAL, but with less rounds in a magazine, and the magazine... Quit bumping! Okay. Less rounds in a magazine, and it takes a couple more steps to load. Yeah, this is totally fine. If you're gonna just fire right off of the rails, I don't recommend it, because there's like a weird... First of all, there's like a weird sloping thing happening with the rails, or the barrel, which is strange. But it's also just kind of not a great sight picture. With a scope, it's, fine. Let's go ahead and close that. If you can actually land a few shots reliably and quickly with this, it is totally fine. What does this fire IRL? Model 70, 3006. Okay. It's fine. 3006 is like the predecessor to 308, which is what it fires in 3, and all the other games the hunting rifle is in. The hunting rifle in 4 is strange, because it's a left-handed Model 70 fired right-handed, so they operate the bolt this way, which is awkward.
Yeah.
It's because they want the shell casings to fly from the right side of the screen across the left, because it looks better. But it gets in the way of the gun. So I would say it's a B tier, but in Fallout 4 and 76, it's a C. So just give it a B. Just give it a B.
Okay.
Because that's on them for using left-handed Model 70s. It's not...
Yeah. Alright.
Alright, next.
Lever action rifle. Then followed by about 4 question marks.
Oh yeah, because I had no idea what to make of that. So this is the New Vegas lever action rifle. I believe this is also in 76. It's hard to aim because it produces a big cloud of smoke, so you can't fire it quickly in rapid succession. Also, it gives away your presence just by sheer virtue of the big cloud of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and load this the way nobody intended it to be loaded.
There you go.
None of the games let you spin the weapon, which is lame. Yeah, this one's fine. I'm gonna put this a step below. What did I give this, an A or a B? I gave this a B. A lever action rifle is also a B. It carries more, but it's also just kind of like it's harder to aim because it has irons, but they're kind of weird. And there really isn't a good. It has a scope. There we go. It's a tiny sight. Yeah, I just much prefer the larger sight picture on that one. And now for the Lincoln's repeater, which loading's a hassle on this one. Pull this up to rotate that off to the side. Grab your rounds. Okay, we don't have a ladder sight. Never mind. Alright. I'm gonna put this above this one, because this one holds more, because it's got the longer barrel.
Alright, what is next is the Deliverer for the suppressed PPK.
Okay, so we need a PPK. So the Deliverer is, in Fallout 4, it's a unique weapon, and it fires 10mm. Which is kind of a big cartridge, especially when this thing just fires 380 auto. So, you do the math. Let's see, 12.7mm is a 50 caliber round. So like a 40, 45. 10mm is kind of like the size of like a 45, or maybe a bit bigger. So you gotta scale this guy up quite a ways in order to get about that size. But we'll just be firing the regular PPK. Not a big mag. It's a 12-round magazine, or a 10 or a 12-round magazine in Fallout 4. Don't remember which. Also, its one advantage is the Deliverer has a very low action point cost. So when you're surrounded by guys, you just go into VATS and go poink, 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 and then you watch the cinematic cutscene where your guy goes, boom. Boom! Boom! And then it cuts to the slow motion explosion to the other guy's head, because that's how Fallout 4's VATS works. I don't know why you'd want it suppressed, because that kind of kills a lot of the muzzle velocity, and 380 is already not a very particularly strong round. That's at point blank range. It's barely moving that around. I don't know. It's totally there just for the spy aesthetic. Because you get it from the railroad, and you kind of do this stealthy underground mission to get it. It's clearly just the Bond pistol, but big. So you get this for aesthetics, you don't get this for firepower. In Fallout 4, it's fine. It's a direct upgrade to the 10mm and 99 pistol. But otherwise,
there's better choices.
In a real world situation, you would not want this. I want to put this at a C.
Noted.
Alright, who's next?
First C tier we've had in a while.
Yep, it's been a while.
Also, I got distracted by a noise and I couldn't figure out what the noise was. It is Loki asleep on my bed next to me.
Oh boy.
Next is the M1A1 Thompson.
This is the one I was talking about. So you remember how I said I don't particularly... If the bolt's not on the top, you don't want it?
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
I see what you mean.
I believe this can take the drum mags, and in Fallout 4, you can get the drum mag for it, so I'll grab a drum mag. The disappointing, unattractive brother to the 1928. It's...
I see.
This is the one that the government, had a hand in. They're like, okay, so your barrel heatsink thing is neat, but you don't need it. Foregrip, don't want it, just a block of wood with a carving on it for fingers. Stubbs compensator, get rid of it. Everything else, cheapen it. So they did. And even the sights.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and stick the... It looks a little better with the drum mag. This is like that cool friend you had in like high school, and then you find them on Facebook selling multi-level marketing stuff because they're that like desperate. It's that. Like, you were cool. What happened? I get it, you tried to clean up your act, but is this how you do it? Is this really what you want to do with your life? It's fine. It lacks class.
Yeah.
It's kind of ugly. I love the top bolt because it's just like it's essentially a hoo-ah motion, just go. But here it's like, you know, I've got to grab this tiny little bolt and pull it back, and oh, now we're ready to fire. On my mark, boys. Whereas the 1928 like chugs a bottle of illegal whiskey and just goes to town. I'm giving it a C. Functionally, it's fine compared to the 1928. Well, no. I think, okay. It's a B. It can take a bigger magazine, like the actual Thompson. Functionally, it's the same as the Thompson, but it's just less cool. It's the LaCroix of guns.
PPSH 41, the combat shotgun and rifle.
Oh yeah, because Bethesda's stupid. So first of all, I want to express that, if I can just pop the mag out for a second. I'm just going to do it with this. So in Fallout 3, as the combat shotgun, the magazine sits like up here.
Okay. It looks like the panic stack from TF2.
And the bolt only goes back to about here.
Okay.
I don't know why.
That doesn't sound very reasonable.
It's not designed well. So in Fallout 4, the combat rifle and shotgun are built on kind of this PPSH platform. And it's just they swap out the receiver and the drum. And like the mag feed, because a 12 gauge shell is obviously wider. That's worrying. The PPSH doesn't have a traditional safety. The sight is fine. That front loop sight is a weird shape, but it makes it more interesting, I guess. Magazine for days.
Yeah, I've caught that. Definitely magazine for days.
It is, of the group, the best. I give the combat the combat shotgun, I'm gonna give an A, because I think it's just a cooler look with the shotgun drum, and it kind of fits a shotgun better. The combat rifle, it's a B. Who's next?
That would be the AKM from Fallout 4.
Okay. It's a familiar sight. Oh wait, the AKM is the 762 AK. AK-74 is... okay. The handmade rifle in Fallout 4 is just a left-handed AK with a shovel handle for a stock. You can't get the sloping wooden stock in Fallout 4.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's an AK. It's fine. I'm gonna give it an A-, because while it is an AK and I love like the reliability of an AK, it needs the stock. It needs the stock, and you can't give it the stock, which is dumb and lame. And Bethesda, why are you like this? What's next?
Beretta 92 FS.
Oh yeah, there is a Beretta in I don't know if I have specifically the 92. I have the Beretta M9, which is what I'm going to use. What game is this in?
This game...
Is this just Tactics?
Yep, this is just Tactics.
Okay, so yeah, Tactics is full of weird weapons. They're all very modern, and... the Beretta is no exception. You might also know the Beretta 92, as the weapon Officer Steel Wool used to kill all of Scott Wozniak's friends in The Great Mysteries of Gaming. It was also used in The Trial, where Rex most correctly identified it and thus was deemed guilty of his own murder. It's fine. It would be an A, except I don't think it belongs in a Fallout game. And I'm going to be saying that a lot, because up next is another weapon from Tactics, isn't it?
And New Vegas, the Browning High Power.
Oh. Never mind. I quite like this one, if I can find it. Where did it go? There it is. Also Tintin. It's in Tintin. Nope, I wanted the slide. So yeah, from where you're kneeling, this looks like a 22 karat run of bad luck, but the truth is, the game was rigged from the start. Bam. Well, welcome to Fallout New Vegas, an Obsidian Entertainment game. It's fine. It borrows a lot of looks from the 1911, but kind of worse. But
yeah,
it's, first of all, it's 9mm. Second of all, the high power's been in production since like the 1900s. It's still being made, and they really haven't found many ways to improve it, which is, again, cool. It is just a 9mm pistol, but I would say it deserves its spot in a Fallout game, and thus I'm gonna give it a plus. What I gave A-, because it's totally fine, and for like a pocket pistol, like a sidearm, I get it.
Yeah. All right. Then the next one, I already tell is going to be high on your list because this is one of your favorite things. The M1911.
Oh yeah. Do I even bother to talk about the M1911? I mean, it's a gun so iconic, literally every gun manufacturer is able to make one because they're in the public domain now. Or they've been in the public domain for like decades. Classy. I love the look. It's just so sleek. I'm gonna be honest, and people are gonna find me disgusting for this. I like the AMT Hardballer more, because it's just more barrel, which is funny. But no, I mean, it fires 45, which has a little more punch than 9mm. You get 7 rounds, which is a bit short. But it's super narrow, because it's a single stack magazine. So this could like fit in a pocket super well. It's not gonna go off if you know, it's not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's also an A. And it comes in so many fun varieties. Is next a Light Shining in Darkness?
I have them on 2 different things. No, the next is the P22 from Tactics.
The P22? This was probably contemporary to when the game came out, and they're just like, you know what? We don't know what a Fallout game is yet. It could be anything. You want to include the flippin' P22 chambered in 22 light rifle or long rifle? Go nuts! I'm gonna give this one a C. The game already Tactics already has a Beretta. It didn't need a P22 and 9mm. That's it. That's my whole comment.
All right. MP5 SD1 from Tactics.
Tactics. Do I get this thing's inclusion in Half-Life 1? I do. Do I like its inclusion in Half-Life 1? Yes. Why is it in Tactics? If you'll give me a second, we can also pay homage to one of its other appearances in media. And now it's the gun from Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, you gotta hold it left-handed.
You're right. And ka-chunk. There we go. Hooray! I don't like this isn't a Fallout game. The P22, I think I gave it a C, because there's so many other 9mm pistols in Tactics. I don't know why they went for a contemporary one. It feels out of place and kind of ridiculous. This is in that same category. It's C for crazy time travelers, get out of here. Doesn't belong in a Fallout game.
Alright.
But it's...
Next one?
Yeah.
The VZ Scorpion.
Yeah, why is this in a Fallout game? I'm gonna be saying
Also in
that.
tactics.
Yeah. I mean, no kidding. This bolt is awful. You know, like,
Wow, it really is.
yeah, you kind of just gotta like pinch around. It looks so much cooler with the stock folded up, and it's probably about as useful with it up or down.
Mm-hmm.
No, full auto. I hit 1 round. See, this one I almost understand, being in a Fallout game. It's more suited for like Hotline Miami. It's uncontrollable, but it's almost kind of scary that it's like that. B-. Best,
Alright.
best tactics exclusive weapon thus far.
The Sten in Tactics in 76.
They did add this to Tactics, or 76. I don't know why they bothered. So it's like, it's just a pipe with a slot attached to it. And they've given you a handy metal pole, so that way the gun doesn't fly into your teeth.
Well, that's useful.
No, back in there. I was trying to hold it by the... There we go. So let's hold it in stand position, because that's,
The only way to hold it, clearly.
yeah. So, actually, funny thing. Its foregrip position in H3 is up here, like, just after the magwell. It's not the magwell itself, because that's how you are meant to hold it. But it, like, tracks my hand position relative to the magwell, because that's how you're going to just end up... You're going to end up sliding your hand back to hold it that way anyways. So thank you, Anton. It's controllable, and it makes sense to be in a Fallout game. So I gave what? I gave the Scorpion a B?
B-.
B-. This is a B. That's a solid B. Controllable, you get plenty of rounds for the rate of fire, and it makes sense to actually be in this world. Just the regular old Uzi.
Regular old Uzi.
This thing is uncomfortably large.
It's very big.
It's like a wolf in that you look at it and it's like, oh, it can't be that big. And then you see it in real life and you're like, oh no. Oh, it's like twice the size I thought it was.
Just like, it's not that much bigger than my dog. Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh, no. My German Shepherd is like half the size. Like, the MAC-10's been eating its vegetables. Good for it. But maybe stop. You've eaten too many vegetables. But being as heavy as it is, with a gigantic, just like, club attached to it, you know, controllable, very, like, the recoil is not as bad as you think it would be. Sights are actually nice and clear. Yeah. It shouldn't be in a Fallout game, but much like the Scorpion, I'm gonna give this a B-. You know, it doesn't need to be here, but it at least makes sense to some degree, because it's kind of just got that wood and metal look to it, unlike these plastic abominations.
Alright. The AUG A1.
AUG, what? Again, Tactics like huffed glue or something, and it's just like, yeah, AUG in a Fallout game.
What's the worst that can happen?
You know, the thing that was in Counter-Strike that everybody loved, the thing that's bullpup design is not obnoxious in the slightest, that thing that can do the slap. Notice it doesn't have a fire selector, it just has a safety switch. Do you know how the trigger on this works?
Not at all.
Okay, so it's a dual stage trigger. It's like the GameCube. Pull it down to here and you fired off 1 round. Keep pulling it and it's full auto.
What?
Because Germany was so keen on making a weapon to revolutionize the idea of firearms that they just weren't making great firearms. You've got to be like so careful with the trigger, otherwise you're gonna go full auto. Its sight picture's fine. This is the anachronistic weapon in tactics that upsets me the most. Because the whole thing is just plastic. I mean, okay. I do have to keep in mind, though, that I gave the costs a pretty high rank. And it's better than the G11. I'm gonna give you a B, I guess. You get a B.
M14.
Okay, this one, I am all for. If I can find it. There it is.
The M14 just has this classy feel to it.
Because it's the Garand. But they've modified, like, its, like, receiver to take a magazine, and it fires 7.62 NATO instead of 30 whatever. No, we haven't aimed at the back target in a while. I fired enough, it's an A. It's lovely. What do you want me to say about it?
No, that's pretty reasonable.
It's just a lovely weapon.
Let's see. M16A1.
Okay. I was all ready to click the Garand, but
I'm sick of
load
seeing
it up.
this thing.
Put it there.
I really don't like
It's got a forward assist that nobody uses because it just jams the weapon. It was issued in Vietnam, and they were like, oh, the barrel's self-cleaning. It wasn't. Hooray, we did it. We fired an M16. It is to firearms what Undertale was on Tumblr in 2015.
God, don't remind me.
But it's the perfect analogy. Everything is this. This is gonna make so many people mad. It's gonna make myself mad. But it gets an A- because it's mostly used by the NCR. And the NCR are going for that good old boys American vibe. So I get why it's here. I'm just not a fan. It's like my very, like, end of the line for a regular Fallout weapon. Everything newer than this is like anachronistic and weird. Just give me the Garand.
Garand. Yep, that's the next one. Do you want to just instant S-class this?
No, not instantly. Let me... Pass.
This looks like a big boy.
So let's go ahead and load our magazine on the bottom. Oh wait, it's the Bren. It goes. Oh
I hate
boy!
How do you even bother having sights?
Here's the fun thing about the sights, though. They're off-center. So you can use it. It's also...
F tier, F tier. Oh, give it an instant.
No, I love this thing. It's like a shark. It's actually rather nice. The sights aren't very obtrusive. The magazine position is dumb. But, you know, all your casings come straight out the bottom, so it's pretty much ambidextrous. I remember reading these guys were pretty reliable. And got a bipod.
Yeah, fair.
So, yeah. And this is just in tactics?
Yeah, the brand is just tactics.
This is the best gun in tactics. Like, only in tactics. I'm giving it an A-. I don't want to give it an A+ because I don't love it more than the M14, but I at least understand why it's here. Who's next?
The M60, heavy machine gun.
Oh boy. See, I'm of the opinion that the M60 belongs in, like, Vietnam War fiction and nowhere else. When I see this thing, flippin' Purple Rain starts playing in my head. Like, that's just what comes to mind. It's so big.
It's massive, yeah.
Its sights are good. Now that I said that, I'm not gonna be able to hit anything. Its thump is awesome. Is this also? Oh no, this is in New Vegas, isn't it?
The M60 was only in tactics.
Oh, okay. So I don't feel bad about giving this an A-.
The FN M249.
This is in New Vegas. Am I right in saying that?
No, it's also only in tactics.
What? Okay, so hold on. Actually, I'm gonna give the M60 a B. This will get an A-. I'm gonna do some shots, but I'm gonna explain why it gets an A- over a B. I should be using both hands. Would it be cliched to compare this to construction equipment? Because that's the vibe it gives me. But I'm gonna go ahead and rip the belt out of this real fast. This gets an A- over the M60 because it can actually just take a regular Stanig mag. And while it's only full auto, this gives it so much more versatility in a post-apocalyptic future, because then you can just carry these around. The Stanig mag port puts it a step above the M60, even though I love the M60's sights and sound better.
Mm-hmm.
The belt box is just kind of cumbersome in a future where death claws run like 50 miles an hour and can flip and turn invisible on you. Sometimes you just need to ram a magazine into a thing, pull a bolt back, and unload like 300 rounds of hot death in a minute.
Yeah.
Who's next?
BAR M1918A2.
I don't know which one this is, but this is the bar rifle. I don't know if this is the
Plowing auto rifle from Tactics.
Why does it have so many LMGs? This one at least makes sense though, because this is, from 1918. Also, even though it's a heavy machine gun, it's only got the 10-round mag, so I'm a little worried. Okay, I guess it's 20. It's gonna be like 20 or 25. Yeah, this totally makes sense to be in other Fallout games. This could have been the assault rifle in Fallout 4. Instead, the assault rifle in Fallout 4 has a water-cooled barrel that's just massive and circular. Please look up Fallout 4 assault rifle and look at the pictures.
Why?
So in the concept art book for Fallout 4, that thing is called light machine gun. They just gave it the assault rifle role for some reason.
It's so cumbersome and annoying.
It's massive. It's also not very accurate and not very good. This could have been the assault rifle in Fallout 4. I'm giving this an A.
Ooh, this one's gonna be fun.
What is it?
The RPG-7.
Oh. I don't even know why I'm gonna bother pulling this out, loading it, talking about it. Okay. Can we hold this normal, fellas? Okay. Now watch me whip. I did not aim that right, so I'm also gonna nay-nay for this one. Off to space with you. Oh my god, that thing is fast.
Well, yeah, it's a rocket.
Yeah, but like in media, it's always so slow. You'd have to pull the cap off, and in fact, in Afghanistan, a lot of insurgents would run around with all the caps off. And so a lot of soldiers watched them like trip over a curb, fall face first, poke the primer on the curb, and just get turned into pasta sauce. It's very unfortunate, but also maybe don't take the cap off until you're ready to fire, idiot. Yeah.
I appreciate the and just gets turned into pasta sauce.
Because that's what happens. I don't even know what I'm going to give this
many
thing.
more like elegant ways to say that.
It's what happened to him. I've used the phrase a chunky ragu to describe getting blown up before on this channel. I know that. What do I give this? Well, this is a great question. A B+. It's a B+.
B+?
Yeah, I think there's more elegant explosives launchers. Is this in the DOS games? Or what do I have written down for this?
Also tactics.
Also tactics. It's fine. There's better explosives launchers, I would argue. In fact, I think one of them is next. Am I right in saying that?
Alright, next one. The M79 grenade launcher.
This is what I'm talking about. This is like the platonic ideal of an explosives launcher. It's gun. It's
a breech-loaded grenade.
It's already gun shaped. It's actually shotgun shaped. There's no. I want that in there, please. I guess I'll just do that. Give me the ladder sight. There we are. What makes me a good demo man? If I were a bad demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I? That is not... Do I want to aim like that? That's fine. That one made it all the way to the...
It's got, like, the most satisfying, like, fire sound ever.
Yep, nicknamed the Thumper and the Blooper because, golly, that noise. Close! Close! I just love this. This is... Shotguns wish they were this. like break action shotguns wish they were this. A. Well, hold on. I gotta empty this. A.
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 Alright.
It's just so much more convenient.
MP5K is the next one.
MP5K?
Do you even want to do that?
Well, it's, if I can find it, it's here. Somewhere. Of what MP5K it is, like, hey,
no,
whatever.
It's literally just called the SMG in Brotherhood of Steel, so.
Oh, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel is ass! I love that. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel is a bad game. Don't play it. This is the MP5K. Hooray! Brotherhood of Steel is bad. This gets like a C-.
I think that's the lowest we've gotten so far.
We had a D, I think.
No, we have not. Only had a minimum of C-.
Okay.
You've been rating everything extremely highly.
Well, yeah, because guns are going to save you in the post-apocalypse. You know, let's say you're walking around with your fancy flippin' rainbow heat-treated karambit. Ha ha, look at me, I spent $500 in Counter-Strike. Oh fuck, a Scorch Beast, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Who's next? It's, again, from Brotherhood of Steel, isn't it?
Spaz 12 from Brotherhood.
Oh. Fallout went through like a weird period in the late 90s where it was losing relevance, and they just decided, you know what, screw it. We'll just put the Spaz 12 in our game. It holds 9 shells, I'll give it that. I am not folding the stock down.
Pretty impressive.
I am not folding the... Okay, we might have some problems. Okay, well, we're just gonna fire right off the rail then. Brotherhood of Steel. I threw the MP5K straight in the garbage, I just noticed.
It's impressive.
A C. It's fine. It shouldn't be in a Fallout game. This was like months before Black Isle and Interplay got flippin' shut down because they weren't making any money. And you could see why that is, because they made shit like Mario Teaches Typing and then decided, yeah, we'll put a SPAS 12 in a Fallout game. Every other game had a SPAS 12, fellas. That wasn't going to make you stand apart. Brotherhood of Steel is also a hack and slash featuring Slipknot music in which you can drink bottles of your own piss for health.
Alright.
No, that says everything I need to say about the game.
Next one.
Yes.
Too many things open right now.
Yeah, I'm not helping.
Alright. Suppressed Ruger Mark III.
Oh, this is the 22 pistol from New Vegas.
Yeah, you got that one right.
I love slash hate this thing. First of all, it's 22 long rifle, which is like BB gun quality. I'm gonna give this... Yeah, let's give this a classy suppressor. Classier than that. Where's like the chrome one? So yeah, nobody will hear you coming in a casino, because this is 22 long rifle, suppressed. Look at the kick.
There is no kick.
There is kick, it's just borderline imperceptible, because... Yeah, hitting your target's gonna make more noise.
It's got, like... I like the visual of it. I like the aesthetic of the actual weapon.
The Ruger is a handsome gun.
Yes.
This is what Bond should have. The PPK is okay. This is just styling.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in chrome. The only issue is Bond won't be able to, take down anybody. Oh no, here comes Oddjob. He's regular size, not tiny pint size. Thanks, Rare. Oh no. Oh god, I shot him 12 times and he's not going down. Maybe it's because I'm using the same type of ammo Carnival's use and they're flipping shoot the star out minigames. It's fine. I'm gonna give it a B. A B, yeah. It's good for stealth encounters. It's good when you have nothing else. I would really hope you have anything else. But, if that's how you want to roll, then roll. What's next?
Alright. The hunting revolver, or the BFR from New Vegas.
Oh! So BFR, it earned its name. I want you to take a guess what that stands for.
Yeah, I was just putting the pieces together.
Big frame revolver, that's right. It's got a rail. I don't know how helpful that's gonna be. Alright, it's a single action. Better sights than the single action army, but you give me a rail, I want to throw a sight on that.
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm some type of idiot? I'm not. Give me just the 1x scope. Just plop that down there. Alright, now we gotta reload this thing, which is gonna be interesting. What am I doing? Let's turn that up to like 6x. There's no subtlety to this thing. It's like pornography. It's just bold and brazen.
It's just straight what it is.
Yeah, somebody walks in the room with this, there's no trying to explain yourself. Everybody knows it's there. It's definitely earned the title. I'm gonna give this thing an A. It's better than the single action army in almost every way. It carries one less round, but its sights are so much easier to use. And it can actually take a proper sight. So, go nuts.
Alright. The Cult Defender, which is the light shining in darkness.
There we go. I'm surprised I waited to put that on the list. Technically, it's not the Cult Defender, but they're both sawn down 1911s. It's fine. We know what a 1911 is. I'm gonna give this an A. Plus
American 180.
Ooh!
Ooh?
I'm sorry, I'm very excited about the American 180. I just wanted to say one last thing before we move on. Joshua Graham is the guy who gives you this thing in New Vegas. And when you first meet him, he's sitting at a table like field stripping these, loading a magazine, testing them, putting them down, grabbing another one and field stripping, and he's doing that the entire time, never making eye contact with you in his opening like introduction speech, and it is the single most badass thing in any Fallout game. Cause he's all,
I think I know exactly what you're talking about too.
yeah, and he's the guy who said like I survived because the fire within me burned hotter than the fire around me. And everybody took it out of context.
Actually, a victim to arson.
Yeah, he was wrapped in rags, set on fire, and thrown into the Grand Canyon. American 180. This looks familiar. It's kind of got the elements of both the M1 and the 1928 Thompson, but it gets radically different when we throw this thing on this. Ka-chunk. Where's the bolt? There's the bolt.
It's on the top.
Yeah, this is 22 long rifle. It's 177 rounds of 22 long rifle. And here we go. In real life and in New Vegas, its extended mag, it holds, I believe, 267 rounds.
Why would anyone need that?
It has 0 perceptible recoil because it fires 22 long rifle.
Yeah.
We mentioned the carnival game where you shoot the star out. This is effectively that gun. This was designed for riot control. Yeah, this will control riots all right. It fires so many bullets, and they're all pretty much grouped so tightly together that it cuts through cinder blocks when you hold down the trigger. I love it. S.
I love that. All right.
It's so much fun in this game. It's not very great in New Vegas, but the sheer audacity of firing the weakest cartridge in the game and one of the rarest to boot, but at that rate of fire is just... Oh, I was supposed to stick a suppressor to it. I'm sorry. What am I doing? I got a suppressor on the floor next to me. Is it just... Why did they bother even making laser rifles? They already have one. It's called the American 180. I love this thing.
Alright. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
The AR-10 from New Vegas.
This looks a little...
Found that very quickly.
Yeah, I've known about this thing. This looks a little familiar.
Wow, it's literally just an M16, but like...
No! This is the predecessor to the M16. This is like its grandfather. Notice it doesn't have the pointless forward assist. This was designed first. And then it was cloned into a smaller version for the M16. And then cloned back up into the AR-10, but just as a bigger M16. The AR-10 is just... Without the forward assist, it just looks so much more simple. I don't know how getting rid of a single useless button can make a weapon look so much more elegant, but it did. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like the vintage style a little more than the contemporary look on more modern M16s and things. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of got a nice lean profile. I'll give that like an A-.
Alright.
Alright, who's next?
PGM Hectate 2.
Ooh! It's, big.
I could see that.
I don't think the site can go lower resolution than 8 times magnification. Its bullets are, big.
Yeah.
They're pretty much firing dry erase markers at them. I can't sweep the... That is terrifying. I was about to say I can't sweep the bolt because it's so big. I can. What? Let me get my picture. Ready, aim. Take it off a safe. I sure am not a good shot. There we go. I get one, and that was my last bullet. Nope, get in there. In New Vegas, this fires incendiary rounds. Because blowing their heads off isn't enough. It also needs to set them on fire.
Of course.
A plus.
A plus. All right. Ready for next?
Yeah.
The Remington 870.
Okay, well, we have the modern version. We don't have the old school one, so that's a shame.
Work with what you got.
So we can't go off of its looks. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm gonna give it an A. It's like the shotgun.
The over-under caravan.
Oh, yeah, the caravan shotgun. It's a double barrel. It's a double barrel, but over and under, which makes it easier to aim, because you know where both your shells are instead of being left and right, the top and bottom. It's a classy thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks very nice.
Yeah, A. All of New Vegas's guns are pretty dang good.
Well, good, because we got most of them are going to be New Vegas. We're in the last 10.
Thank God.
Yeah, we're almost done. Alright, Model 1887.
That's the lever action. Yeah. I mean, it kills him.
Satisfying.
There was a show in the 1960s about a guy, I think it was a lever action shotgun or a rifle, and in the opening, he just like, the opening is just like this. More gracefully and elegantly than that.
Yeah.
But like, just super fast, rattling them off. You can also... I need to get a little more oomph. There we go. It's
So
not
ridiculous.
There we go. It's not holding open right. They can join the other New Vegas shotguns. They're all A.
That's easy. Alright. Single shotgun 20 gauge.
Ah. It's gotta be weird on us. If anything else, this will at least protect you from, like, geckos. Or very angry convicts. I'm gonna give it a B. I'd just rather prefer a 12 gauge shell than a 20 gauge. If you're only gonna give me one.
Alright. You know what's going to be the fun one for this one? The
Well-
last of the New Vegas weapons, the China Lake.
Oh, do we need to... well, you know, we'll load it. We'll load it. And we have to do the magic trick. You can shoot off all 4 grenades before the first one touches down. I'm not even gonna bother. It's an S. It is the most handsome of the grenade. I love the grenade launchers more than the rocket launchers, but this one's just the most handsome. And it's a shame they only made like 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what I understand, they actually worked pretty damn well.
Now we're on to the last 4 76 weapons.
Okay, I think I know what the first one is.
The black powder pistol.
I'm not looking forward to this one.
I like that in your notes you simply labeled it as that.
Because it's what it is. I don't remember heavy flintlock 18th century firing a 69 caliber ball. I just remember, yeah, it's a flintlock pistol. Okay. I forgot to open the flash pan, but we can just... There we are. Stick that in the front. Close that. Grab a ramrod. Tap, 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 tap. And we're ready to fire. And we're gonna miss. Or not. Notice that it takes an eternity to load it, because you have to pull this back, take out a cartridge, stir it in your mouth, spit it out, add some powder, stick this in the barrel, close that, pull this out, ram it down, stick it back, and now we're ready to fire again. Hooray! And you have to maintain the flint. Flint breaks, gotta have more flint. You run out of powder, you run out of ball, get more. D.
Finally, we have something lower than a C minus.
It's just so agonizingly slow. I don't know why anyone would bother.
Alright. Well, I have bad news for you for the next one.
The next one's the musket.
Yep.
Notice, it's a whole lot taller. I can't reach all the way up there. Luckily, Anton has our backs. You gotta grab somewhere. Where do you grab? Where do you grab? Anton, where do you grab? Up here. Now, okay, we gotta grab this again. Pull the flint. No. Pull the flint back. Paper cartridge. Tap. Put it in there. Close the flash pan. Go all the way up here. Stick it in. I just poured all my powder out. I gotta take that back out. I can't. I've just jammed this, I think. Grab the rod out.
I'm just gonna write D here so you can throw the gun away.
We gotta load it at least twice. Ugh. Get this out. Stick it back. Doesn't need to be all the way. And now we're ready to fire. I don't even know if anything made it out of the barrel. Alright, well, let's do it again. Get the ramrod out. Who wants to do this? No wonder the people of West Virginia died in like 2106. Because they all thought this was a good idea. Well, we're finally ready to fire. It looks nice. This doesn't really look like the one in 76 if I'm remembering it right. F. Don't. Don't. There's no advantage to the extra barrel over this, because I don't think it's rifled on the inside.
Alright.
It's just...
Let's try and finish this with something fun. Gatling gun. The hand
Yes.
crank Frank.
Yes, it's called hand crank Frank in H3. It is. Hand crank Frank. 4570 government. It big. It very big. I'm gonna want a second mag. You just kind of sit awkwardly in there. I've got to hold this on the left and crank with the right. We are going to try to aim to the 20 meters. See, those West Virginians are lucky. They have a crosshair to tell them where they're aiming. I have, like, tracer rounds, and that's it. It gets like a C. It's fun. The novelty factor and the fact that it actually fires 4570 government saves it, kind of.
Alright.
It's just a little... It could be better. And now we're on the final one, right?
We're on the second to final one. We have one more before the minigun.
Okay, we gotta forget that this exists. What else?
The MG42, the light machine gun from 76.
Oh, right! I don't know why Nazi weaponry made it to West Virginia. But away we go. And that's it. Now you open this up, and you take the drum out, and you load a new drum. And you do this, and you pull it down. Ka-chow.
Wow,
Yeah.
That doesn't hold much at all, does it?
I didn't. I emptied about half of it. So Anton made the historically inaccurate giant ammo box for sad wieners. Or miserable wieners. And it's a 200 round drum. Or a 200 round box. M134 man portable minigun. It's called the man portable minigun because it's based on a bigger version that I assume is just called the gun. All right,
Probably.
we're all loaded up and ready to go. Sorry. It's so loud I couldn't hear you.
I said I was watching the bullet spread. That is insane.
It's probably better point blank. No. Fuck you, farm. Okay, so those sparks are not bullets. That's just like sparks.
Oh.
Watch the tracers. Pretty much every Fallout game has the minigun, because everything has the minigun. And you would think, given my comments on like the M4 and the M16, that seeing this in literally everything, like name one FPS that doesn't have a minigun in it other than Half-Life or Counter-Strike. But even then, Counter-Strike Online, the one run by flipping the MapleStory people, designed for South Korean audiences, that has a minigun. That has like 10 miniguns.
Yeah.
So like everything's got a minigun, and you would think, given my comments on the M4, I don't like this very much. But here's the thing. You're wrong. It's still like an A, though.
Alright.
I wouldn't give it an S, because it is a bit much, and trying to load that big 1,000-round box seems like a hassle. And carrying this thing around isn't feasible. See, no video game protagonist has ever had to worry about the battery situation. This thing is electrically driven. GE, General Electric, developed the minigun. Yeah, the people who make your dishwasher developed the minigun. Think about that when you go home and load the dishwasher. You're welcome. Because it's just cooler to let you fire this like it's just a gun. And they're right. The closest I've ever seen is Resident Evil 4 or 5 maybe, puts a gigantic backpack on Leon. And it completely covers up your view of the screen.
Yep.
But that's it. Like, that is the closest any game has come to accurately depicting the minigun. Unless, you get to fire it when you're in, like, a helicopter or a plane. Those are usually pretty correct. We reviewed all 60 weapons in the Fallout franchise.
You exhausted yet?
Yes. And I have to actually go start cooking dinner. I don't even know what dinner is yet. While you tabulate the results, I'm going to grab my least favorite weapon in this game and show the people. It's not an SMG, it's a rifle. I think. There it is, the EM2. It looks like the audio equivalent, it looks like the gun equivalent of the Wallace and Gromit theme. It's very disgustingly British.
Yeah.
It's
also, what is that super skinny sightline?
So, this tiny little silver tab is actually my irons, and it lines up with this. And it fires 280 British, because of course it does. It's a very small, thin round. I guess it's not that bad. But this was what Britain was like, yeah, this is our rifle. And then the M4 existed, and they're like, oh, never mind. But it's also a great segue into the Viper. This was built out of pieces of a stem.
I can see that.
And it was designed, you're never going to believe this, this was designed for assaults on bicycle.
What?
You stick this wooden bit under your arm. There's no trigger guard, there's nothing, and you just go like this. So while you're bicycling, you can just kind of look off to the side and gun, and then later when you get the chance, you stick a new magazine in it, pull the bolt back. This was designed for, like, bicycle drive-bys during war.
What the...
Britain was on something. I'm convinced there was something in the beans that made them do this. Look, they're getting their whole week's worth out of it, because they got Sunday for beans, and then Monday through Saturday is murder. They're already prepared. That's a superliminal reference. Give us our results, Dan. What were the weapons I liked the most, and tell us what our least favorite weapons were. Like, top 5 of each, if you have the results.
Oh god, they're all... I have the results.
What are the results? Tell you what.
I don't have...
Save that text file.
I did. I sent it to you.
Oh, cool. So you're actually saving me.
Yeah, the musket was the lowest tier, and the Thompson 1928 was the highest.
Alright, so... I like that you gave the Beretta a B, comma, I guess. Thank you.
I mean...
Okay,
yeah.
So... The LAPD, the Thompson, the Garand, the American 180, and the China Lake. Those were our S ranks. And they are very good S ranks. And I'll have more relevant information on the screen to go with it all. But that'll be it. Thank you, Dan, for walking us through this eternal nightmare that actually finally ended. And when we hit 4,000 views on Fallout and Analysis, I am just buying the Platinum chip. I'm not doing another video. How long is our recording? I swear to God, if I'm not... 3 hours!
I don't know.
This was stream length. This was stream length.
Jeez.
This is longer than Fallout and Analysis, just in terms of raw footage. Oh no. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing. Patreon and social media links are in the description.